जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी गिरिवर जय गोपी गिरिवर राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन 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 यमुना तीरवन कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरवन यमुना तीरवन राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे नाम संकीर्तन की है। शील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। Is my voice audible? Okay. Okay, so welcome all for this Friday's Bhagavad Gita class. Sorry for the late information on the class, but there was another class, so I forgot about it in terms of sending the message. But by default, if I don't send a message, the class is there. That's the thumb rule, you could say. So today we're going to discuss chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. Last week we concluded on chapter 3, and we talked about how Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga is very important. Now, what is the connection between chapter 3 and chapter 4? The chapter 3 talks about Nishkam Karma Yoga. So there are multiple things we discussed in chapter 3. And then Krishna ends the chapter with the description of the enemy of human beings. Right? Who is the enemy of the human beings? That was the topic description. Anybody remembers? What section was it? Who is the greatest enemy of human beings?
His own mind.
Own mind, okay. Within mind, anything specific? Mind is pretty generic, but any specific?
Desire.
Uncontrolled mind.
Uncontrolled mind, okay. Desire. We talked about a specific anartha. Okay, somebody has written the message. Yes, Kunal is right. Desire or lust. Lust is the enemy. Kamesha krodesha rajoguna samadbhava mahashano mahapapma vidyanami vairina. So Krishna is saying lust is the biggest enemy. So then Krishna ends the chapter 3 saying that lust, be aware of lust. Because that is the main pivotal thing which is going to keep you in this material world. Like Srila Prabhupada used to say, if you remove sexual desire from this world, there's nothing to live for. Probably everybody will be coming in temples, and probably instead of 9 people in the session, we'll have 900 people because kuch hai nahi aur karne ke liye. That is how Prabhupada says, because that is the thing which keeps us in the material world, and that is, it's not only sexual desire; it's anything to do with, desire, which is apart from Krishna. That is what it keeps us. So then Krishna talks about how by knowledge we can overcome ignorance, and knowledge can keep us away from our desires. What do you call it? Not good desires. Right? That is how knowledge can help. because knowledge helps us to become dutiful and detached from these things. So Krishna spoke about transcendental knowledge, after that, and this chapter gives in more detail what is transcendental knowledge. Because in chapter 3, Krishna ends by saying that transcendental knowledge is the only one which will help you to go from Sakama Karma Yoga to Nishkam Karma Yoga. It is the only one which will help you to avoid the intelligence. For example, before we came into Krishna consciousness, hardly we knew what is soul, what is super soul, who is God. ऐसे हम लोग भी सब भगवान की पूजा कर रहे हैं. Everybody is just worshipping God just for the sake of it. क्योंकि हमारे परदादा कर रहे हैं इसलिए. There is no logic behind it. But once we get the transcendental knowledge, then we are in the right, right realm of things. How to, what to do, or what really is, required to be done. That is transcendental knowledge. Right? So it helps us to avoid the intelligence, to overcome all lusty desires, overcome all useless desires. Only the intelligence can help you to do that. Right? So if there is no intelligence, transcendental knowledge nahi hai, to vyakti nahi, you'll see a lot of people getting into so many nonsensical activities because the intelligence is not there. Like that. Then transcendental knowledge has the power to purify our consciousness from passion to goodness. That is the only way we can purify. That is what transcendental knowledge does. क्योंकि अगर transcendental knowledge नहीं है, so you will not take to bhakti. If you don't take to bhakti, your heart is not going to be purified. And if you don't take to, if your heart is not purified, you will definitely not go from passion to goodness. वो होगा ही नहीं. That's why Krishna is saying transcendental knowledge is very, very important. So now in chapter 4, he is going to give in details what exactly means by transcendental knowledge. It is going to be explained in detail. Okay. So in this chapter, there are many, many things we are going to discuss. So there is an acronym given is TREE, Tyaga. This was chapter 3 actually, sorry. So we discussed Tyaga, rungs of ladder, exemplary yogis, and enemy of the soul. Now, this chapter is got EARS, eternal education, and the rest we'll discuss as we go through. So, basically, Krishna is now going to explain how this knowledge came into this world. Right? So he's quoting a shloka. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshe vidu sagalena mata yogo nashto parantapa. He's saying this knowledge was lost. Yogo nashta parantapa. That's why I am giving this knowledge to you. Initially, I gave this knowledge to Vivaswan. Vivaswan is sun god. And Vivaswan gave it to Manu, father of mankind. And Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku was a king. So in this picture, you can see this person is Vivaswan, who is receiving knowledge from Krishna. And then he gave that knowledge to Manu. And Manu is giving it to Ikshvaku. Right? Now, sun god is the oldest entity. One of the oldest entity who is there. Right? So now, that's why Krishna is saying this knowledge is very, very old. Millions and millions of years old. So Prabhupada actually calculates in the purport. He says, he gives a detailed explanation of how much years is Manu and how much years is, Ikshvaku and sun god. So he gives a number of, it is at least 120 million years old. The knowledge given to Vivaswan. That's that much old it is. And Ikshvaku was 20 lakh years, before this knowledge was given. Which is pretty old. Basically, you can say the knowledge was given at the start of the creation. Metal creation ke shuruaat mein diya tha. And the reason he's mentioning Vivaswan and Ikshvaku and Manu is that to give the importance. Yes, ऐसा कोई साधारण knowledge नहीं है. ये बहुत important knowledge है. That's why this knowledge was given to great personalities like Vivaswan and Manu and Ikshvaku. Right? Vivaswan is a great demigod. Sun god, it's a very, very great person. So now Krishna is going to tell about who is, qualified to get the knowledge and why was it given to the royal order. That is very important. Now the royal order is actually basically the kings. Now the kings were given the knowledge because they would make sure that they are able to maintain the So they wanted to make sure they are able to maintain the citizens as per the spiritual knowledge given in the scriptures. So, for example, if the king doesn't know that the most important thing in the society is spiritual upliftment, पता ही नहीं है तो कैसे वो how what measures is it going to take? That's why the kings were required to give this knowledge, and they were able to proper. So their main aim in life was to keep everyone happy and to keep them on track towards spiritual goal. That was the king's aim. King का कर्तव्य था ये. That was his main aim. Then everything else would come. To give values to the citizens, to make sure everybody is educated in culture and devotion. That was the primary goal. And you will see this in Yudhishthir Maharaj sections or Parikshit Maharaj sections. Parikshit Maharaj is touring the entire world. उसकी की कोई गलत काम तो नहीं कर रहा, खुद personally. And he's able to find people who are actually misusing religion. So that's what the duty of the Kshatriya or the king was, right? Second, as I told you, because it was given to sun god, it is very, very important. Now, Krishna didn't want to give it to any ordinary person, because sun god is the king of all the planets. Sun ke karan hai sab kuch chal raha. Imagine if the sun was not there, what will happen? Our universe will be dead. Kuch nahi kar payenge. Without the sun, there is no sunlight. No sunlight, obviously. No plants cannot get their nutrients. Trees cannot grow. You will not have heat. You will not be able to evaporate water from the sea. No rains. तो कुछ भी नहीं कर पाएंगे. No rains, no heat, no light. खत्म. That's why sun god is very much required. So we talked about the history of the Bhagavad Gita. Then Bhagavad Gita is apaurisheya. Apaurisheya means this is, for example, if I write an article on my own, कुछ तो मैं ऐसे लिख देता हूँ. Let's say I write it on corona. आजकल तो सब कोरोना हो रहा है तो आजकल तो there are so many people who are coming with articles and videos. कोई भी उठता है वीडियो बनाता है. So let's see if I write an article and at the end I just write Anand Patil, Bachelor of Electronics, working with KPIT. तो पागल है क्या तू? तुझे कोरोना का सी नहीं पता, वायरस का वी नहीं पता, and you are writing article on corona? What is this? It is like that. So which means if I write something, maybe if I write something about software, कोई तो पढ़ेगा, एक चार लोग पढ़ेंगे और बोले गाली देंगे, but that's at least they'll read. But for medical, I cannot write anything because I don't have any adhikar, because I have not learned it. Correct? Similarly, whatever a person or a human being writes, there is some fault in there. Because there are 4 defects in humans, right? Our senses are not perfect. Then we make mistakes, we are illusioned, right? Like that, there are four defects. So if a human writes something, there is some fault, or definitely some fault. But Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Krishna himself, who is God. That's why it is called Apaurisheya. Apaurisheya means superhuman. There is no fault at all. Ek bhi fault nahi hai Bhagavad Gita. Because it is spoken by Krishna himself, and Krishna doesn't have any fault. That's why he's God. Log bolte hain, aise kaise ho sakta hai? How come there is no fault? Arey bhai, because he is faultless, that's why he's God. If you become faultless, you'll become God. Right? But we have faults. Now, Bhagavad Gita has to be understood without any mundane interpretation. खुद का दिमाग नहीं लगाना चाहिए, ऐसा हो सकता है, वैसा हो सकता है, नहीं. Like there's one girl who comes in Sunday class, and she keeps on asking me a lot of questions about Lord Shiva, who is Lord Shiva, and how who is supreme. So I gave a lot of references from Brahma Samhita, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is supreme and Lord Shiva is one of the greatest too. But then she went on internet and found multiple shlokas from different Puranas, saying कि देखो यहाँ पे लिखा है कि Krishna is worshipping Lord Shiva. So I told her, look, this is not how you learn scriptures. This is not how you learn, bhakti. You cannot just go on internet and learn, bhakti, especially spiritual aspects, because internet has got so many things. They are not really, that's why bhakti or spiritual knowledge has to be sought in a tripod manner. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. First Guru, then Sadhu. Sadhu means, learned people. And then Shastra. Tino sync mein hona chahiye. If you just look at the Shastra, you will get confused. There are 1 lakh shlokas in the Vedas. क्या पढ़ोगे और क्या समझोगे? हमारा तो ज्ञान भी नहीं है. Bhagavad Gita, only 700 shlokas we are not able to understand. We have been reading for so many years now. नहीं समझ में आता है. So how can we understand the Vedas? It's very difficult. And Vyasdev ji himself has written the Vedas, who is the supreme person himself, his incarnation, Shaktavish avatar of Krishna. If he's written so many Vedas, he would have thought of everybody in the universe, not only about devotees. He would have thought कि अरे हाँ कुछ शिव जी के भक्त रहेंगे, कुछ गणपति के भक्त रहेंगे, सबके लिए मैं लिखता हूँ. That people are not able to understand. वो तो नहीं ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? For people, it is like it should be, everything should be black and white. We have got tendency of binary, digital age से ना तो binary चाहिए, black or white. कुछ तो बताओ. But भक्ति में ऐसा नहीं है. You can be right and you can be wrong as well. That is spiritual knowledge. Like Krishna and we are one and the same, and we are also different. कैसे? By quality we are same, but quantity we are different. That is called Achinti Bheda. Like that, there are so many things. Like one time, one person asked Srila Prabhupada, "Is God so powerful? Then can God create a stone which He cannot lift?" ऐसा एकदम twisted सवाल पूछ लिया. तो अभी सबको लगा रहे अभी तो प्रभुपाद क्या पता नहीं क्या बोलेंगे अभी. Because if he says yes, He can create a stone like that, then God is imperfect, unlimited. वो तो unlimited नहीं है फिर. And if he says no, He can create, but He can still lift it, तब भी गड़बड़ है. तो प्रभुपाद ने बोला He can create such a stone and still He'll be able to lift it. ऐसा बोला. तो वो चुप बैठ गया. Not like that. One time, one person asked him. He was a reporter, and ये बहुत खतरनाक reporter था. मतलब there are some people, right? Like in India also there are some people. तो या तो चिल्ला चिल्ला के बात करते हैं, या तो they are so much, what do you call, good in logic that they'll twist meanings and they'll try to catch you. तो ये reporter जो था, he asked Srila Prabhupada. He asked some other questions and then he asked, "Do you believe in hell?" Because he was in US. तो now अगर yes बोलेंगे तो बोलेंगे कि ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है, कहीं तो फंसा देगा वो. तो Srila Prabhupada, this was in UK. Srila Prabhupada ने बोला कि, by the way, those who are living in London, please don't mind. This is Srila Prabhupada saying, I'm not saying it. So Srila Prabhupada said, yeah, we have seen hell. UK is a hell. London is a hell. There is, and जैसे London is a hell बोला तो वो reporter एकदम he become stunned. He didn't expect this answer. And then he explained why he's saying that. Because he said there is no sunlight here. And in hell there is no sunlight. That's why London is hell. And he said Thames River is so much, over glamorized. But when I saw the Thames River, it is like a canal. In India, there are so many great rivers. ऐसा करके उसको उड़ा दिया. And वो एकदम चितपट हो गया एक ही टाइम में. They didn't expect that. Anyways, so the point here is basically Bhagavad Gita is apaurishe, and you cannot apply your mundane knowledge to understand Bhagavad Gita. ऐसा क्यों बोला गया है उधर, वैसा क्यों बोला गया है? We will not be able to understand. That is how spiritual knowledge is. Spiritual knowledge cannot be understood by our own mental efforts. नहीं समझ सकते हैं. सिर्फ भक्ति से समझ सकते हैं. That is why Krishna is saying, "Bhakto si mi saka cheti." Only by bhakti you can understand. That is the secret. Raj Vidya Raj Guyam क्यों बोला है? सबको book available है, but not everybody can understand. Millions and millions of people read Bhagavad Gita. How are they transformed? नहीं. There are so many people who read Bhagavad Gita and बोलते कि नहीं इसमें कुछ लिखा ही नहीं. कितना एक बार in Pune I was distributing Bhagavad Gita, and one lady passed by and said, "Bhagavad Gita ना फार किचकट ले लेते हैं." She is saying Bhagavad Gita has been written very complicated way. I told her you are not able to understand. That doesn't mean that doesn't have value, because Bhagavad Gita is the abstract for everything in the world in terms of achieving perfection. तो वो abstract करना ही पड़ेगा ना. You cannot be so simplified. And for that, Krishna is saying you have to be a bhakta. Then only you will be able to understand. That is the criteria. और कोई criteria नहीं. कितना भी intelligent हो जाने दो, Einstein को आने दो या कोई भी intelligent व्यक्ति, वो समझ नहीं पाएगा. Because that is matter of heart and not matter of brain. Right? Obviously, if you're intelligent and if you have got a heart, surrendered heart, then you'll understand better. But there are people who may not be intelligent. They might not even be able to read Bhagavad Gita. But because they have got the bhav to worship Krishna, they understand Bhagavad Gita. Like one time there was a South Indian Brahmin in South India. And he was reading Bhagavad Gita. But he was, holding it upside down. and he did not know how to read it. So the brahmanas other who were sitting in the temple, they were laughing, ha ha ha, कुछ समझ में नहीं आता फिर भी पढ़ रहा है. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and he said, hey Brahmana, why are you, who are you and what are you doing? He said, I am reading Bhagavad Gita because my Guru Maharaj told me, but I cannot read. Sometimes I read properly, sometimes I don't. But then he said, why are you crying? He said, when I look at this picture of Krishna taking Arjun on the chariot, tears come to my eyes. He said, my Lord is so great. He's become a driver for his devotee. Nobody can become a driver of anybody. देखिए हम लोगों को बोला कि आपके जो घर में अभी तो यूके वगैरह में नहीं होता होगा ऐसा, पर इंडिया में द हेल्पर्स हु कम एट होम, उनको आप गाड़ी में लेके जाओ ड्राइवर बन के, बोले हैं ऐसे कैसे कर सकते हैं? बट कृष्णा इज द सुप्रीम पर्सन, ही बिकम अ ड्राइवर. तो दिस ब्रिंग्स tears in my eyes. He said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you have understood Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Bhagavad Gita. You have not read Bhagavad Gita, but you have understood the essence. That is the point. So the point here is, we need a particular mood to read Bhagavad Gita. वो मूड नहीं है, भाव नहीं है, कितना भी पढ़ने का प्रयत्न करो, पूरा रट लो भगवद गीता, कुछ नहीं समझ में आएगा. Right? That's why whimsical interpretation will not do. Like there are so many interpretations in the Bhagavad Gita. कि अरे भगवद गीता में कुछ नहीं है, सिर्फ बोला है कि कर्म करते रहो, कर्म करते रहो. है कहाँ पे बोला है? कर्मण्यवादी कारस्ते. तो नहीं पता, वो आगे का नहीं पता है. कर्मण्यवादी कारस्ते माँ फलेषु कदाचन, हाँ वो नहीं पता. फल तो हम रखेंगे ना, दूसरों को क्यों देंगे? So like that, whimsical interpretations, using your own brains to apply Bhagavad Gita, you are not able to understand. Now this edition of Bhagavad Gita is special because it actually talks about the original Bhagavad Gita. यहाँ पे कोई doesn't talk about own interpretation of Bhagavad Gita, because the knowledge is coming from the parampara. If you look at the left hand side, there is a parampara given. Krishna is giving it to Brahma, Brahma to Naradji, Naradji to Vyasdev. ऐसे करते 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 their knowledge is coming to Srila Prabhupada, and he is giving the original knowledge. वैसे जैसे अभी आम का सीजन है, when you go to Konkan or any tree, the mangoes are picked up carefully and handed over in one person to another person. अगर वो नीचे गिर गया mango, that mango will not survive. Similarly, this knowledge is hand by hand दिया गया है through parampara. That's how the original knowledge comes. Otherwise, the knowledge will not be original knowledge. Like that. And Vedas are full of indefeatable Vedic truths. व्यासदेव ने जो लिखे हैं वेदास, ये पूरे उसमें भर भर के ज्ञान है. Right? It talks about embryology, how every day एक एक दिन का कैलकुलेशन दिया गया कि कौन से दिन आंख आती है, कौन से दिन कान आते हैं. Everything is given properly. Vedas state that plants have life, and recently Jagdish Chandra Bose proved it. काउडंग के बारे में बताया, बहुत कुछ बताया. There are so many things in Vedas. Yoga, Vastu Shastra, astronomy, astrology, metallurgy, so many things are there. Everything is written in Vedas. That's why Vedas are very, very important for us to understand. And there are these 4 paramparas. We have talked about this before, so I'll go in quickly. So there is Sri Parampara, which is coming from Lakshmi ji, and the proponent of that is Ramanujacharya, who was born in South India, and he was a great success in terms of propagating bhakti. Then there is Brahma Sampradaya, and it was propagated by Madhavacharya, and this is where ISKCON actually is coming, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got the Diksha from Ishwar Puri, who was in the line of disciple succession coming from Madhavacharya. Then there is Vishnu Swami, who is the proponent of Rudra Sampradaya, coming from Shivji. Then there is Nimbarkar Swami, the proponent of 4 Kumaras, Kumar Sampradaya. So these are the only authentic paramparas, only authentic Sampradaya. इसके अलावा अगर और कोई फॉलो कर रहा है तो ओरिजिनल नहीं है वो. भगवान ने खुद बोला ही, हमको इंटरप्रेट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Only people who are in this parampara have got the real knowledge. Otherwise वो perverted knowledge हो सकता है. That is not coming in the real disciplic succession. How do we know? We know it by the results. कि जैसे how do you know the tree is good? By the fruits. Similarly, the fruit अगर अच्छा है भगवद गीता पढ़ने से, if we get some transformation of heart, then we are actually, it is an authentic one. So Srila Prabhupada is the one who got the knowledge from his guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He got it from his own guru, Bhakti Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj, who got it from his own guru, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And ऐसे लाइन पूरा तरह से वो कृष्ण तक जाती है. That's why it is original. ब्रह्म माधव वधव गौड़ीय परंपरा. तो वो परंपरा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, right? For example, if somebody is teaching in Harvard, you should go to Harvard University. And ऐसे कि मुझे सीखना है. But if somebody else comes from outside and teaches, allow करेंगे वो? नहीं करेंगे. It has to be in the parampara. So Krishna is saying, because you are my devotee and friend, sayavayam mayatedde yogo prapta paratana bhakto simi sakacheti रहस्यमेच उत्तमम. मिसिंग रहस्य ये भक्त रहेगा तभी मैं बता सकता हूँ, तभी वो नॉलेज आएगा. बिकॉज भगवद गीता इज अ डायनेमिक बुक. वो ऐसा कोई स्टैटिक बुक नहीं है कि एक बार पढ़ लिया समझ में आ गया. नो, एवरी टाइम यू रीड भगवद गीता यू विल गेट अ न्यू रियलाइजेशन. हर बार नया रियलाइजेशन आएगा. सेम श्लोक, एक ही पढ़ो श्लोक, उसको हर बार नया रियलाइजेशन आएगा. बिकॉज इट्स अ डायनेमिक बुक. इट इज एक्चुअली कृष्णा हिमसेल्फ हु इज स्पीकिंग इन द भगवद गीता. तो ऐसा कोई वो साधारण बुक नहीं है. Okay, so now Arjuna is asking here कि भाई, so there are a number of editions. I talked about it. So these all around 700 editions are there. All these editions are perverted reflection. कुछ भी लिखते हैं लोग. Like there is one guy called as Devdak Patnaik. He writes My Gita. कौन है ये? कौन है व्यक्ति जो माई गीता लिख रहा है? Because कृष्ण की गीता है, इसकी थोड़ी गीता है. Right? And he writes anything nonsensical things. Everything is not really right as per the Shastra. So there are many such people. So we have to be very careful what we read. Okay. So now Krishna is saying, Arjuna is saying, कि भाई you were born, you are a contemporary too. You and me were more or less the same age. 2-4 साल का फर्क है. How come you give this knowledge to Vivaswan? Vivaswan is very, very old, millions and years of old. How can you give the knowledge to Vivaswan? So Krishna is saying here, Bahuni me vityatani janmani tavaja Arjuna, tanyaham veda sarvani natvam veta parantapa. Krishna is saying, why is Arjuna asking this question first of all? Arjuna is asking for the betterment of us. हमारे लिए पूछ रहा है यार. ऐसा नहीं कि अर्जुन को पता नहीं है. अर्जुन को सब पता है. But he's asking for the benefit of people that, look, Krishna is the oldest because he gave the knowledge to Vivaswan, and that this knowledge is not something which has been fabricated out of the blue. ये ऐसे बीच में से कहीं नहीं आया. This is coming from original Vedas. That's why he is talking about it. And he wants to show the authority of Krishna. That's why he is telling this. And obviously, if you want to hear from Krishna, it is very, very auspicious in this. So demonic people don't like this idea. वो बोलते हैं भगवान भगवान कुछ नहीं, कृष्ण भगवान ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. They reject him, supreme authority को, right? Like that. Now Krishna is saying, बहुनी में व्यतीतानि, मतलब मैंने भी बहुत जन्म लिए हैं, तुमने भी बहुत जन्म लिए हैं. You don't remember, but I remember. Right? So Arjuna is actually a jiva like us, but he is what do you call? He is constantly along with Krishna. He is one of the sahachar of Krishna. He is always constantly doing lila with Krishna. Nar Narayan mein aaye the, and then many other leelas also. And even in the Chaitanya Lila he came in different forms. So he is a constant companion. Krishna is saying, you have taken many births, but yaad nahi tumko. Like, because this is not the only planet, or this is not the only universe which Krishna is doing the leelas. He is doing in all the planets, all the universes. Because सब जगह भरे पड़े हैं हमारे जैसे लोग. He has to get them out of there, like that. Okay, now Krishna is saying, Ajopi sanna vyatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim samadhisthaya sambhavami atma maya. So now Krishna is going to talk about his birth and death, and his why does he appear like that. That is the entire section now, 4.5 to 4.10, right? So he's saying Ajopi sanna vyatma bhutanam ishwaropi san. He's basically saying I appear out of my own will. Like for example, how many of you have taken birth out of your own will? हमने बोला कि नहीं भाई मुझे अभी जन्म लेना है. कितने लोग हैं यहाँ पे? Can anybody tell? No. And everybody has to be forced to take a birth. कोई भी अपनी तरह से नहीं आया. Right? But Krishna appears on his own. He appears in a place where he wants. He appears in a parent's where he which he wants. सब कुछ उनकी इच्छा से, हमारी इच्छा से यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं होता, right? Now, so this entire section is going to talk about why he takes birth, how he takes birth, what is the reason, वगैरह वगैरह, right? So let's start with the question: what is the difference, do you think, between Krishna and a normal jiva, normal living entity? What is the difference, especially concerning birth and activities? Any difference at all? आज इतना सन्नाटा क्यों भाई?
Yes, Anand, there is like lot of difference.
Lot of differences, yeah. I mean, there are differences.
Confused where to start with.
Let's start with the birth.
There are no similarities at all. I mean, everything is extraordinary. The birth is extraordinary. The entire, this, it shows all the leelas of Krishna. Everything is extraordinary, and the way all his friends. So somewhere I was reading. I think it was Essence. There is a book named Essence of Prabhupada, in which he says that Krishna is in anxiety because he wants to protect all his friends and cows, but his friends are free. Like Krishna is there, so they don't care. They're like, okay, there is a problem, no worries, Krishna is there. But Krishna is taking care of them because he has everything with him. So yeah, lots of differences.
Okay. Any other? Puran, you were saying something.
Yeah, our birth is the effect of the cause of our previous karmas, whereas he is not bound by any cause or effects.
Correct. So our birth is because of our karma. हमने कुछ कर्म किए इसलिए मैं पाटिल खानदान में आया हूँ, पुरान भी पाटिल खानदान में आया है, and so everybody's got their own karmas, but Krishna doesn't get attached to any karma. He says, "Mam karma limpanti." He says, "I don't get affected by karma." He says that, right? Okay, what else? So I spoke about a couple of things. He remembers his past. We cannot remember past. Right? He takes birth on his own. ये अपने इच्छा से आते हैं. He is not bound by karma. He remembers all the things. He appears by own his will. Then his body is transcendental. उनका जो शरीर है transcendental है. हमारा शरीर transcendental नहीं है. We get hurt. He doesn't have any veins. Blood नहीं है, veins नहीं है, because body is पूरा spiritual है ना. हमारा body में सब कुछ है. Blood है, everything is material in our body. But his body is entirely transcendental. His soles, the legs, नीचे वाला feet वाला part, right? Those have auspicious marks. आप लोग अपना पैर को देखो नीचे, कुछ auspicious mark है. Auspicious mark रहेगा तो भगवान है. So Krishna has got 16 auspicious marks on his feet. Yeah? So when he walks on the Raja of Vrindavan, those marks are actually imprinted in the Raja, on the soil. And you will be surprised to know none of the Vrajavasis actually step on the prints. तो बिल्कुल उसके ऊपर पैर नहीं रखते क्योंकि they know it's Krishna's legs. When Akrur came from Mathura to Vrindavan, as soon as he saw the footprints on the soil, he rolled and he paid, his obeisances, because he immediately recognized this is the one sign of becoming God, not becoming God, of somebody who's God. Because he's got 16 अलग-अलग करके वो marks हैं, auspicious marks, right? वो हमारे में नहीं है, right? Krishna was full with hairs and jewels and and he was not crying. But when we took birth, we were crying. और अगर कोई बच्चा रो नहीं रहा तो उसको चिमटा निकालते हैं, उसको मारते हैं रोने के लिए, बोले कि रोएगा नहीं तो फिर वो बच्चा नहीं तो उसको रुलाते हैं, right? Like Kabira says in one doha, कबीरा जब हम पैदा हुए जग हंसे हम रोए, ऐसी करनी कर चलो हम हंसे जग रोए. He's saying, when we are born, we cry, and the world is, at least world में family तो हंस रही है, but world का तो पता नहीं, but your family is laughing and they अरे बच्चा हो गया, and he's saying when you are dying, do such activities that you will smile कि मेरा काम हो गया, and everybody else is crying. Why? They are going to miss you. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो मरते समय भी रो बोले कि हाँ ठीक है भाई गया, एक बार गेला गया था, ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए लोगों, गया एक बार, ये तो जाने ही वाला नहीं जाना था, you know. So that is the difference between Lord and us. When Lord leaves the planet, everybody who was present was, you know, morose. Earth was also morose. Prithvi Devi ji वो भी ऐसा मुंह करके बैठी थी. Everybody was morose because they were going to miss Krishna, right? So that is what we should be targeting. कि भाई ऐसे कर्म करें कि भगवान सब लोग रोने लगे. That is how it should be. So that is the difference. There are a few more which I have written. He is far and he is close. Can anybody tell? This is a Ishopanishad sloka. I'll just try to bring up the sloka, but yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. But can somebody explain what does it mean? He's far and he's close as well.
Maybe just I'll try. So he resides in our hearts as Paramatma, but he is actually in Goloka.
He is also in Goloka. Okay, good. That's also one interpretation. Any other interpretation? So you gave what should I say? Physical interpretation or position interpretation. And anyways, Krishna is there in every attempt as well. But there's a more philosophical interpretation of that. He is far and he's close as well. Anybody? You want to try? Philosopher Purnanand, you want to try?
Yeah, like he is very close based on the his name, his chanting. If we take the name, he is exactly present in front of us. But like to achieve the transcendental position where to go to his abode, he is extremely far away from us.
Okay, very good. That's also another interpretation. Very good. So another interpretation is he is very close in the heart. And apne baaju mein baitha hai, because we are also in the heart. The soul and super soul are very next to each other. Correct? So he is very close. But if the soul, living being soul, doesn't turn to Krishna, apna mukh pher leta hai, so he is very far. He is not very close. He is very far because you want to forget him, he will be far from you. Nahi chahiye na main dur chale jata hu. That is what this also means. All three meanings are correct, but these are how it is. Then Krishna's body has a fragrance आता है बॉडी से उनके, राइट? हमारे बॉडी से क्या आता है हमको बोलने की जरूरत नहीं. डिओड्रेंट घर पे रखते, पाउडर रखते, मतलब ही समझ में आ जाए क्या आता है हमारी बॉडी से. बट कृष्णा's body has fragrance. Like ऐसा बोला कि ऋषभ देव जब incarnated ऋषभ देव, his stool used to be fragrant for about 2 miles. 2 माइल तक उनका जो स्टूल है, that used to be smelling fragrance, अच्छा वाला स्मेल. हम लोग बाथरूम से भाग जाते जल्दी कि चलो जा भाई. But here his body is actually fragrant. That's the difference. Every part can carry on the function of others. For example, he can eat by his eyes, right? He can listen by his nose, like that. Every part functions like another body. And no veins and no blood, we talked about it. So it's very, very special. Krishna is not an ordinary person, we can understand this. And he appears like an ordinary person. जैसे राम भगवान आए थे तो वो जंगल में रो रहे हैं कि कहाँ है सीता, पेड़ों को पूछ रहे आपने देखा है सीता को, कहाँ है सीता. So he is actually like acting like a ordinary person, but he is not ordinary, right? That is his speciality, peculiarity है. दिखते हैं भगवान ऐसे सादे, but वो है नहीं. Right? Like Bhishma Dev is on the Shaiya and Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking questions. And Bhishma बोल रहे हैं कि देखो ये तुम्हारे जो सामने खड़े हैं ना कृष्ण, यही है सुप्रीम, इन्होंने सब कुछ बनाया है, हाँ? और तुम्हारे जो भी दुख हैं इन्हीं के कारण है, सुख उन्हीं के कारण है, करेक्ट? बट यू कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड हिम, आप उसको समझ नहीं पाओगे. तो युधिष्ठिर महाराज ने बोला अरे इतना क्या डिफिकल्ट है, हमारे सामने ही तो खड़े, पूछ लेता हूं उनको कि हु आर यू एंड व्हाट आर यू डूइंग वगैरह वगैरह. तो भीष्म ने बोला हाँ, इफ यू ट्राई टू आस्क हिम ही विल जस्ट गोल गोल कर देंगे, मैं तो ग्वाला हूं, मैं तो तुम्हारा भाई हूं, ऐसा बोल के गोल गोल घुमा देंगे तुम. That is what Krishna is. He seems like an ordinary person, but he is not. he's got many incarnations, and he appears in his original form only in one day of Brahma. Brahma के एक दिन में, जो which is around many billions of years, उसमें एक ही दिन में आते हैं वो, right? So he appears only once a day. So basically, so Krishna basically is special in many ways, in terms of his activities, in terms of his birth, in terms of how he looks like. It is said if you just look at Krishna, you will keep looking at him. That is his attraction. That's why it's called Krishna. Krishna means attractive, like that. Then we cannot be equal to God. There is some people who said कि नहीं आप लोग आध्यात्मिक को पकड़ो, आप एक दिन भगवान बन जाओगे. ऐसा कभी नहीं हो सकता. भगवान बनते नहीं है, भगवान पहले से होता है. You cannot become God as such, right? Like that. Okay, so let's go to the next. So this is the spiritual beauty versus material beauty. Original, duplicate. The real mango, imitation mango. Spiritual beauty, material beauty. Like that. So now he is going to talk about his own appearance. क्यों आते हैं वो? Right? यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम धर्मस्य तदात्मानं शुभाम्यहम्. He's saying जब जब धर्म की ग्लानि होती है तब मैं आता हूँ. अभ्युत्थानम अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. जब अधर्म की ग्लानि होती है, धर्म के संस्थापना करना होता है, तब then I appear. Right? Now people might ask, अरे इतनी धर्म की ग्लानि हो रही है, everybody is becoming adharmic. Why is God not coming? So what is the answer for that? अभी इतना कलयुग चल रहा है, and there are so many problems in Kalyuga. People are not following the religion. So why is God not incarnating? ऐसा कोई बोले तो क्या बोलना है? So the answer is that God doesn't necessarily appear in his own form. He appears in many different forms. He appears sometimes as avatar, like Shaktavish avatar. There are 6 kinds of avatars. So in any of these avatars he can come. Guna avatar, Leela avatar, Shaktavish avatar. He could come in any of those Leela. Correct? Then he could send his representatives. Like Srila Prabhupada is the representative of Krishna. Right? Jesus is a son of Krishna. Prophet Muhammad is the representative of Krishna, Allah. Right? So he can send it in any form. And in Kali Yuga, he specially appeared in his Naam, in his own names. So he doesn't need to appear on himself. He's come in the form of name. Okay? That's why, and the way Krishna appears, the way Krishna does his activities, it is inconceivable. हम लोग नहीं समझ सकते उसको, right? Because he is God after all. If you are able to understand God, then what sort of God is he? We can only understand God if he wants us to understand. Otherwise, नहीं समझ सकते. We are limited in his unlimited. So how can we understand God? And only if he wishes, then we can understand. That's why that is the secret of Bhagavad Gita. When you perform bhakti, then Krishna becomes happy and then he gives the knowledge. Tesham satayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupyantite. This is 4.9. He's saying Tesham satayuktanam, sorry, 10.9 Bhagavad Gita. Tesham satayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam. जो मेरे सतत भक्ति करता है, what do? Tesham satayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam. I give the intelligence by which they can come to me. Only then Krishna gives the intelligence कि तुम भक्ति करो, and you start understanding Krishna. Otherwise, it is very difficult. He might keep on speculating. We might go and sit in Himalayas performing meditation. Krishna will may not actually reveal himself to you. Right? He will not reveal himself to you. Right? That takes a lot of devotion. That takes a lot of faith in Krishna. Then only he reveals. So when does he appear? One day of Brahma, in original form he appears. Otherwise he comes in different avatars. And in the original form in Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, he comes in 20th millennium of the 7th Manu of a day of Brahma. तो अभी वैवस्वत मनु का टाइम चल रहा है, तो वैवस्वत मनु के टाइम में he comes. And ये शास्त्रों में लिखा गया है, ऐसा नहीं कि अपने आप से कहीं तो आ जाता है. Right? But sometimes he might change the rules. ऐसा कुछ obligation नहीं है कि लिखा शास्त्र में इसलिए आना चाहिए. he can change, right? He could change his rules. ऐसा कुछ जबरदस्ती नहीं उनके ऊपर करना ही चाहिए. He could change.
I really wish that he changes his rule, and just like Parshuram came and killed all Kshatriyas, he should do that. Yes, I just keep on dreaming always that Parshuram is still there. He's
He's still there.
immortal, isn't it? Why he's not coming? Where is his axe?
Function is finished. Every avatar has got a specific function. So they perform the function and they go. Narsimha Bhagavan just came to kill Hiranyakashipu and give darshan to Prahlad. Like that. So their function is defined. So, I mean, it's good to imagine and dream. That is very good, because then you are dreaming of
because of what is going on at the moment as well.
That is also, actually, this Karuna is also a form of Krishna. Many people actually despise, many people criticize, but this is not happening without approval of Krishna. This is also happening through Krishna. Okay? Like many devotees actually passed away also because of Karuna. So it is the will of Krishna, because he, everything which is happening in this world is because of the approval of Krishna. Nothing is happening without his approval. So jo bhi ho raha hai, it's through him only. So Krishna has got his own inconceivable ways of, killing demons and, protecting his devotees. But how does he protect his devotees? Only he knows the best. हम सिर्फ speculate कर सकते हैं, like that. But yeah, I think, but one thing is very, very sure, that this is the very best time to perform bhakti. Because when times are good, when your job is good, you don't have any any problems in your life, सब कुछ अच्छा चल रहा है, ऐसे तो बहुत कम होता है, but relatively कम होता है कभी, right? Then it is very difficult to perform bhakti. जब फिर लगता है कि हाँ सब अच्छा चल रहा है, अभी आराम से बैठ के chanting करेंगे कुछ सोचते हुए. That is what a person thinks. That like one time Radhanath Maharaj was going in a flight, and the flight was supposed to land, but कुछ problem आ गया flight में. So they started making announcements कि ऑक्सीजन मास्क गिरने वाले हैं, फ्लाइट अभी कहीं इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग हो सकता है, ऐसा सब लोग चिल्लाने लगे, सब चिल्लाने लग गए. And then Radhanath Maharaj said, I took the beads and I started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And he said, those 1 hour, 20 minutes, whatever it was, he said that was my most intense chanting which I did. Otherwise, हम लोग ऐसे chanting करते Hare Krishna, क्या चल रहा है? Hare Krishna. We are actually doing it, just as a courtesy japa. करने के लिए कर रहे हैं. भगवान को बताया मैंने 16 वाला किए आज, आप ध्यान रखना. That Krishna doesn't, like Krishna said to Draupadi, when you cried, Hey Krishna, Hey Govinda, Hey Gopal, Krishna said that cry of Draupadi indebted me for eternity. Because if somebody cries for you during a distress, you are actually indebted to the person. Especially Krishna is. We might not be, because we are not very grateful to people. At least I am talking about myself. But Krishna is very grateful. Krishna बोला कि तुमने इतना आर्तता से मुझे बुलाया, I was totally surrendered. I mean, I was totally given to you. That's what Krishna said to Draupadi. Another time, I don't know if I told this story, but Bhima wanted to sing. उसको गाने के lessons देने थे. So every time Yudhishthir and Krishna used to praise, Arjun. कि अर्जुन ऐसे करता है, अर्जुन ऐसे तीर चलाता है, अर्जुन ऐसे डांस करता है, ये वो. तो भीमा ने बोला कि यार मेरी तरफ कोई देखता ही नहीं. So he said, I'm going to, sing now. So he bought a musician and he said, I'll go to, रियाज करूंगा मैं. तो he sat in the middle of the palace, जहाँ से सब लोग आते जाते हैं, and he started doing रियाज, हाँ वगैरह करने लगे. And everybody was, they were disgusted. Disgusted मतलब they were saying यार ये इसका आवाज अच्छा नहीं है, फिर भी क्यों रास्ते के बीच में ये गा रहा है. बट कौन बताएगा भीमसेन को कौन बताएगा भाई. तो सबने बोला कि द्रौपदी यू कैन से, बिकॉज इफ वी टेल हिम ही विल बिकम एंग्री. तो द्रौपदी वेंट एंड सेड कि भीमसेन क्या कर रहे हो आप. बोला मैं रियाज कर रहा हूँ, देखो कितना सुंदर गाना गा रहा हूँ. तो द्रौपदी ने बोला कि देखो रियाज जो चीज है ना, दैट हैज टू बी डन इन प्राइवेट. आप ऐसे पब्लिक में करेंगे तो आपका रियाज अच्छा नहीं होगा. तो आप कहीं जंगल वंगल में जाओ, माउंटेन में, वहां पे जाकर रियाज करो. तो भीमसेन बोला हाँ सही बोल रही थी. सो ही वेंट देयर and in the mountain he was doing riyaz with the musician. So one day one shepherd came and he was looking for something. तो भीमसेन ने बोला कि क्या देख रहा है भाई. बोले कि नहीं मैं एक्चुअली कुछ बताऊंगा तो आप गुस्सा हो जाओगे, मारोगे तो नहीं मुझे. बोला नहीं नहीं, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू हिट यू. तो ही सेड एक्चुअली मेरा ना गधक हो गया है, तो मैं उसका ढूंढ रहा था, तो ये आवाज सुना तो मैं इधर आ गया. तो भीमसेन को पता चल गया, बोला अरे यार, ये लगता है कि द्रौपदी ने मुझे इसीलिए निकाला है क्योंकि मेरा आवाज ऐसा है. तो ये अंडरस्टूड एंड ही स्टॉप डूइंग दैट. दैट इज वन पार्ट ऑफ द स्टोरी. देन इन अनदर टाइम युधिष्ठिर महाराज टोल्ड भीमसेन कि जाओ तुम प्लीज आज सुबह उठ के जाओ एंड द्वारका से कृष्ण को लेके आओ, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट काम है. तो भीमसेन बोला ठीक है, थोड़ा सा नहाता हूँ, खाता हूँ और जाता हूँ. सो ही टुक अ बाथ एंड ही एट. एंड भीमसेन जो खाता है तो nobody can stop him. So he ate full, पूरा पेट भर के खाया और सो गया. दोपहर के 2-3 बज गए होंगे. तो युधिष्ठिर महाराज कुछ काम के लिए आए थे, तो देखा भीम खड़ा है. तो भीम को बोला कि भीम लेके आ गए इतनी जल्दी. तो अरे बाप रे, मैं तो भूल ही गया, मैं तो भूल ही गया. तो युधिष्ठिर महाराज स्टार्टेड चैस्टाइजिंग हिम. एक काम दिया तुमको ठीक से नहीं कर सकते, इससे अच्छा तो मैं अर्जुन को दे देता है, जाओ इधर से. एंड देन भीमसेन वेंट एंड स्टार्टेड क्राइंग. And Bhimsen तो कभी रोता नहीं actually, but in this case he was crying. He went to his chambers and started crying. And then he, started praying to Krishna. बोला कृष्णा, क्या तुम सिर्फ द्रौपदी का सुनते हो क्या, मेरी भी सुनोगे क्या, ऐसे करके he was crying literally, right? And when he was crying, then the doorkeeper came, security guard. बोला कि महाराज आपको बुला रहे हैं. बोला कौन बुला रहा है? युधिष्ठिर महाराज. बोला आज दिन ही खराब है, लगता है सुबह से दिन खराब चल रहा है और मुझे गाली देंगे अभी. तो बुलाया भीमसेन को, बोला कि युधिष्ठिर महाराज को कि क्या तुमने मुझे बताया नहीं कि तुम जाके आ गए, यहाँ पे कृष्ण आ गए हैं. तो भीमसेन बोला कि मैं कब गया था, मैं तो गया ही नहीं था. तो कृष्ण ने बोला कि मैंने थोड़ी ही बोला कि भीम मुझे लेने आया था, मैंने बोला कि भीम ने मुझे पुकारा इसलिए मैं आ गया. तो कृष्ण ने बोला कि जितना मैं तुम्हारे गाने के रियाज से खुश नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि ही वांटेड टू इम्प्रेस कृष्णा, उतना मैं तुम्हारी आर्तता से खुश हो गया. तुमने जितना आर्तता से मुझे बुलाया कि कृष्ण प्लीज आ जाओ, तुम क्या सिर्फ द्रौपदी का सुनते हो क्या, मेरे नहीं सुनोगे क्या. He immediately said I was totally sold out to you and that's why I came immediately. So that is the bhava of Krishna. He cannot actually see that his devotees are going under distress. वो बिल्कुल देख ही नहीं सकते. And that's why he takes different forms and he comes here. उनको क्या जरूरत, otherwise what is it the need for him to bring his entire paraphernalia. बलराम जी को लेके आते हैं, अलग अलग अपने एक्सपांशन को लेके आते हैं, and then he brings his own devotees and he's trying to impress upon everybody कि यहाँ पे तुमको कुछ खुशी नहीं मिलने वाली. ये जॉब वॉब कर रहे हो, ये फैमिली पैदा किए, बच्चे पैदा किए हैं, एक बंगला बांधा है, घर लिया है, बेवकूफी है. you're building a house on a bridge. He tries to tell us, but हम लोग ही नहीं समझा रहे हैं. नहीं बाबा, अभी नहीं आएंगे, थोड़ा टाइम जाना दो. अभी अब थोड़ा ही है, अब थोड़ा बुढ़ापा आने दो, then we'll come. ये हमारा situation. Anyway, so that's how Krishna comes and he actually tries to impress upon us कि हमने जाना चाहिए. Hare Krishna. So I think we'll stop here. Any questions? Any thoughts?
Anandji, you mentioned about Gita being Apaurushya. So why it is still there in Smritis? Only because it is part of history?
No, so Smritis is there because there are different, there is Smriti and there is Shruti, right? So Smriti is because it was written by Vyasdev by through the different means. Basically, Ganpati wrote all the Vedas, and that's why it under Smriti. So there are different forms in which it is there. So none of the Vedas are actually limited by anything. All the Vedas are actually Upanishads. It's not only Bhagavad Gita, because all the Vedas are written by Vyasdev, right? So, but some of them are by Smriti and some of them are by Shruti. Okay? Which is basically Smriti means it was written by the sages, and Shruti means it is coming as it is. Right? So Vyasdev wrote it as he remembers whatever was spoken by Krishna. That's why it is called under Smriti, like that. But the entire Vedas are Apaurushya because they were written by Vyasdev who is Krishna himself in incarnation of literary incarnation, like that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, so if there are no more questions, then we can stop here. Thank you so much for your kind attention. And we are running this every Thursday for at least 3-4 weeks. 3 weeks we are running this Narsimha Leela. So in case you are interested, you can join.